call the January 6th, 2022 Utilities Advisory Commission meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Since all appointed members of the commission are present, we have a quorum. And now we'll move on to the consent agenda. All matters listed within the consent agenda have been distributed to each member for study. These items are considered to be routine and will be enacted upon by one motion with no separate discussion. If separate discussion is desired on an item, that item may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda. Are there any items any members of the commission would like removed from the consent agenda? I do have one item. On the minutes of the last December 2nd meeting, under discussion items, the very last paragraph, the second sentence, it states that 100% of reports for known backflow devices have come in, and it should include the words for residential, but that about 75% of backflow reports have come in for businesses. Is that a correct statement as amended? Can I get a motion on the consent agenda for the amended minutes?
I so move.
Second?
Motion made by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner Augustine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Then we'll move on to old business. Consider a recommendation to City Council to revise the electric residential service connection fee. Do we have a staff presentation?
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. This item was tabled on the previous meeting because the Commission requested additional information. Hopefully that information that I'm presenting will be sufficient. So I contacted 4 municipalities. One of them is Ottawa, which is 20 miles south of here. And they, the fees for the residential service connection fee is collected at final plat. Eudora, which is 20 minutes north, they collect the fees at final plat, and then will not issue a building permit until the fee is collected. Osawatomie, they do the actual fee collection is during the building permit application. Garden City, they're mainly commercial and industrial. So in order to promote residential development, they don't charge anything. That's a way of promoting residential. And then Evergy, the fee has to be collected upfront, but I was not able to get the time when is that done. And Commissioner Coleman requested about Evergy, so the only thing I can provide is that there is collected upfront, but I don't know how far upfront. So it's the only piece of information that I was able to get for this meeting.
recommended at final plat?
A final plat. Yes, sir.
It sounds like that's what the neighboring, a
And,
lot of the neighboring
and
communities are doing.
another piece of information. Right now, in order to get materials, it's taking anywhere between 6 to 9 months to get the material for electric. On the average, when we submit the invoice for payment, it takes anywhere between 4 to 6 months for them to pay. And then the average time between final plat and the actual building of the construction is about 6 months. So that's additional information that you can take into consideration.
Can we not collect just, let's review this. What are we collecting? The labor, everything to install the whole subdivision?
So what I'm requesting is the residential service connection fee, which is $2,300, which I'm requesting approval, be collected at final plat.
And that fee includes the labor and material.
That will include to provide the service for that actual development. So the way we've done it is, let's say it's 20, I think the numbers are here somewhere. So on the average, let's say it's, let's say $30,000 on the average for 10 houses. No, let's make it $23,000 for installing the infrastructure for 10 homes. So you divide it by 10, you come out with $2,300. So that's how we collect the actual cost of materials and labor, through a average cost based on a residential home.
So the developer has to provide transformers?
We provide transformers. They will install the conduit, they will do the actual digging, provide the conduit. We will pull the cable and terminate the cables.
Who pays for the transformer?
That's being paid. Well, we'll supply for the transformer. So it's, like I said, it is, for a development, is a global cost that on the average is about $2,300 per lot.
Right, but my question is, does the utility pay for the transformer? At the end, when everything's cleared, who's paying for that transformer?
It'll be the actual builder.
So do we know of this $2,300 per lot? Do we know what the cost is for material versus what we're also charging for labor?
I had the breakdown, and I can provide that information. It's not here.
Okay.
But the original numbers, it was broken down by materials, labor, and total cost. Material, equipment, labor, and
All in, it's 2,300 roughly.
correct.
So does the developer get any payback over time as power is used for the next 5 years or something?
Don't
So
understand.
they provide all the infrastructure from us, but we get the revenue, right?
They provide all the infrastructure. They have to somehow connect whatever home to our infrastructure.
Right. So, but they pay for it all, right? That's what we're
Correct.
saying. The cost is 2,300.
So they're paying for the, I guess you can call it the right for us to provide them service.
I don't understand. You're saying they're paying for the right to get
We
service?
have a infrastructure, right? They want us to connect to our infrastructure. That cost, so in order to connect to our infrastructure, is gonna cost them $2,300
Per lot.
per lot.
So,
It is like in sewer. There's a system development, no, a system development service charge that if you want to connect your sewer from your new home, you're gonna have to pay a X amount of dollars based on the connection. Water is the same. If you want to connect a 3/4 inch water meter, you have to pay $3,000.
3,000?
Yep. For every single building. Electric is no different. So in order to connect to the infrastructure, you have to pay a fee. We call it a residential service connection fee. So-
Right. It just seems like they're providing all the equipment. But, I mean, don't we have some obligation to provide something?
According to the electric standards, no.
Last meeting, you said that, as you just commented on, that there's a long lead time for transformers.
Right now is, like I said, probably 6 to 9 months.
So do we have a nice supply somewhere in case one of them goes up tonight? Or we keep an inventory?
We have what is called a critical inventory, or certain components that we had on hand in case there is a failure on the transformer, feeder, cabinet. So we keep a critical number of equipment or devices in stock for emergencies.
Do you typically plan for one contingency, emergency, or two? How do you, I mean, just,
So the inventory is in inventory based on experience and events. We have a min and max.
yeah,
So you have a minimum of, let's say, 5 transformers, maximum 10. That min and max is set based on the historical usage and outages we have. So yes, we have a set of transformers for emergency repairs. But the problem now with the supply chain is, let's say we use one for a developer. Now we have to order one transformer. Now it's taking 6 to 9 months to get that transformer.
yeah, I understand that, and I have no argument that we should charge something, and for the, we gotta buy the equipment, but it just seems like, I don't know, they are providing labor and everything for the infrastructure. Seems like we would have an obligation to have some skin in the game here. Like some, used to be some developments, if they got a percentage of revenues for a period of time. So, if it was 3 years, say, and they didn't develop it for 2, then they only got 1 year's revenue investment by the city as well. That's just the way I feel. It's all one way here.
I think the investment is taking over that infrastructure and maintaining it. No different from a street light. It's put by the developer and we maintain the street light.
Do they pay for that as well?
Yep.
See, when you hook up a water line, you're attaching to a whole infrastructure. I guess it's kind of the same. Okay,
So the $2,300, it buys a transformer for a subdivision, or what are we?
Again, it all depends on how big of a, let's say if it's a green field, that will pay for installing the infrastructure to service the entire development. That could be.
Like 3 or 4 houses on a transformer.
Correct. Now, if it's maybe 20 homes, now you have to put maybe 4 transformers.
Okay, well, that's what I was getting at, was we're doing, it's $2,300 per lot,
Which is an average cost.
which is an average cost, and I just was trying to determine what that gets, right? There's a, cost of a meter in there for each property, there's a
That includes the
transformer that
meter.
covers X amount, and it all averages out.
And the wires too, right? The wires.
Wires, transformers, termination, cabinets, possibly.
I don't know. Part of me wants to say, at final plat, let's charge them for the materials that we're purchasing, but not charge them for the labor that we're doing to install it. Charge them for the labor later. But then that overall, I think, complicates the whole thing, right?
Well, I think it would be an
You're
additional cost.
you're adding more steps,
Yeah.
right?
You have to issue a double, 2 invoices.
Yeah. My theory was that you collect the labor, then when they're getting the building permit for each individual house later on. But that doesn't really then cover, I'm installing a transformer, if they're not pulling all of our building permits at one time, right?
Well, at the end of the day, the property owner pays it, because all those costs, development costs,
Yeah.
get rolled into the price of the house.
Right, right. But last meeting, a big sticking point with us was, are we tying up the city's money for 6, 9, 12 months buying this stuff?
We're tying up somebody's.
Or are we tying up the developers'
Yeah.
money, right?
Depends on which side of the door you're on, I guess. If you were a developer, you would think that was outrageous.
Well, I mean, right, we think so, but we're not developers. Clearly, Ottawa, Eudora,
Osawatomie,
Osawatomie, right? I mean, they're doing it the same way. We're building stuff.
Did you say that those cities collected at final plat?
O- Ottawa final plat, Eudora final plat, Osawatomie, building permit application.
Building.
Evergy, they collected upfront. I don't have the time. They were not able to tell me. And the other was Garnett. They were not sure when was the time of
sure?
collection.
Is that what you said? They weren't sure? Were you able to find out Olathe or Overland Park, anything? A bigger
No.
city?
Overland Park is part of the Evergy
Oh, okay.
service area, same as Olathe.
Well, I'm kind of familiar with Ottawa and a little bit Osawatomie. I don't know anything about Eldora, but those two that I mentioned, there's not much development going on there, so it really doesn't matter what they charge, 'cause it's not happening. You know, what I'm saying is it's a moot issue. But I can see both both sides of it, I guess. It just seems like a pretty big jump at one time. It's now 1,100,
No, it's 14.
14.
But if you look at the, I don't know if you have that on your,
Yeah.
you look at the past, 11 years, it went from 440 up to 1,900 in 2008. And after the economic recession, it went down to 1,400. So after almost 11 years, we're requesting to raise it to $2,300.
Okay.
And developers will have a chance to speak at the city council meeting.
Well, I don't plan to develop any lots.
Well, why not?
I'm too old.
Oh.
Any more discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve old business item number 1.
A motion's been made by Augustine. Do I hear a second?
That would be, as staff recommended, the 2,300.
Yeah, as recommended.
Okay, aye.
Okay. A motion has been made to recommend increasing the a recommendation to city council for the revision of the residential service connection fee, to increase the residential service connection fee to $2,300 and to change the electric service standard, paragraph 510, to require fee payment at final plat. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay, now we'll move on to new business. Consider approving a recommendation to City Council to execute an agreement with Alltech Capital Services to replace 2 specialty vehicles in the lease program.
Yeah, currently the city of Gardner leases 6 specialty vehicles from Altec. One is a transmission digger derrick truck, 1 distribution digger derrick truck, 2 large bucket trucks, and 2 small bucket trucks. The small bucket trucks are called service trucks because are the ones we use the most around the city. The 2 small trucks or service trucks are up for the lease expires in December 2022. We're bringing this for this recommendation because the lead time for new trucks is up to 20 months. It used to be around 8 to 9 on previous orders. We went through the bid process. The bids were, the invitation went out on November 16th, and we only got 1 bid from Altec. The price has gone an additional $1,000 compared to the previous lease. So right now, a service truck or small aerial lift truck is about $4,053.83 for a 48-month warranty. Sorry, for a 48-month lease that includes warranty and maintenance. Part of the explanation of the increase, a ton of steel went from 500 to 2,100. So that's part of the explanation why the cost went up for the lease. We have used Altec for the past 11 years. They provide excellent service. So we're recommending Altec to provide the replacement service trucks. I just want to point out that the $4,053.83 per month is per truck. So if we're getting two, will be twice that amount. Just to
Is
make,
that, increased amount in the budget for this year?
I'm not sure.
Somebody has to pay for that.
What was your question? I'm sorry.
Huh?
What was your question?
Whether it was in the budget, the
Oh.
increased amount.
No, but since it's gonna take close to 2 years, we can make a revision on the budget, so that truck will be coming in 2023. So basically, this is just a authorization to proceed with the construction of the truck. Because the actual lease will be signed once the truck is delivered, which is gonna happen in 2023.
Yeah, I understand the cost of steel went up, but I thought you said something about like an extra $1,000 more than we currently pay?
Yes.
Will you say that part again for me?
So the current price, the monthly lease is about $1,000 more than the older, more than the current service trucks we're using.
So the current is about 3,000.
3,000, yes, sir.
That is a big increase over a 4-year period.
Yep.
I mean, I understand the cost of steel went up, but, right, like, that's not something that we're continually consuming, so. and it Wouldn't take 48,000 pounds of steel, well, not pounds, but, I don't know, the math just seems weird.
Well,
I'm-
they buy the chassis, but they fabricate the body.
Right, right. But if
And the-
we're talking about a ton of steel went up from 500 to,
2,100.
2,100. It went up 1,600
Probably
bucks.
close to a ton of steel in it.
Oh,
You gotta
it's
have the,
close to a ton of steel, right, but a ton of steel is only an extra $1,600 as opposed to 48,000. So. We started talking numbers, so, you know, that's where I'm trying to figure it out, but all right. Why do we, do a lease program on these vehicles instead of buying them?
Prior to me being here in Gardner, they used to have, 11 years ago, they used to buy trucks. And I can provide that, but there's a spreadsheet that was developed to justify the leasing versus purchasing the trucks. And on that spreadsheet, it shows that it's cheaper to lease the trucks.
11 years ago, or when?
Last time I ran the model was in 2017,
Okay,
and it still showed it was
it still shows.
a better deal leasing the trucks.
So we did it 4 years ago, it was cheaper. Historical, right, like the 2-3 times that we ran it, it was cheaper. So it's probably still cheaper, but, you know, I don't know, something to think about. Because we don't lease all the vehicles, right? There are,
All these specialty trucks, I mean all the bucket trucks, excuse me, the digger
yeah.
derrick trucks, which
Yeah,
we
there's-
have 7. They're all of them are at least 6.
But what, 6 months ago or something, we did a couple of vehicles for
Those are regular
the,
F-250s or,
well, right, no, I get those, but we did some specialty vehicles for the water side of things, didn't we? Wasn't there like a special
It was a sewer
truck? Or am I crazy?
vacuum or,
oh, that was the vac truck. That was 2019.
Is it that long ago already?
Yeah. That was about 259.
Okay.
And with that truck, which is a specialty truck, we tried to get a lease, and there was we couldn't get anybody that will give us that option.
Gotcha. Okay.
you said we have 7 digger trucks?
We have 7 special vehicles. That includes a digger truck, a large one, a small one, and 4 bucket trucks.
And the other than these specialty trucks, we own them, right?
The regular pickup trucks, yes,
We only lease the specialty.
yes, based on history and the analysis that was done on this model.
Should we be replacing like 1 a year or something rather than batches? I mean, we're doing 2 here, so I assume there's 5 more that has to.
I think the smaller trucks are 4 years replacements, the larger ones are 5. And if I remember right, we replace about 2 trucks every year or every other year.
It's like the police vehicles. They want to spread it out a little bit, so it's not all at one time.
Well, if you have a glitch and you can't get trucks like now, it just,
Well, sure, right?
makes it kind of binding. Or if we're gonna buy 2023 Dodge trucks, if that year Dodge had a problem, you got all your trucks have the same problem. It's not a big deal, but I just like to spread things out, and so you're not locked into a big problem instead of one truck having a problem, you got several.
Sure. So we're saying it'll take a while to get these trucks. The current lease ends in December, and we will.
This year, 2022.
Yeah, December of this year. And so we'll just keep running the current small bucket trucks that we have
Until we get the new
until
ones.
the new ones come in. Are the lease parameters the same on the existing trucks, maintenance and everything
Will remain the same.
is already there, so they're being updated and taken care of. I assume they're in good working order, the current trucks.
I think they need replacement, but we can use them for another year.
Right, what I mean is like, we're not gonna be in a situation where we need a bucket truck and don't have one,
No.
right?
Any truck will last 1 more year. Right?
Every year, right?
Yep. You just gotta work on it more.
So my question was, you need to wait 20 months for this truck.
To get
and why didn't we order it earlier to accommodate the 20 months? But you said that the prior lead time was 8 to 9,
Yes.
and it just recently changed to 20. That's why.
When we were looking into replacing the trucks, just inquiring, we found out that we needed to order the trucks now.
Same thing with the transformers from earlier, and everything
Yeah.
right now, in the world we live in is just taking longer,
Yep.
costing more.
So once the lease is up, though, you'll go on a month-to-month lease on these trucks?
It will be the same. We'll extend if we're paying $3,000, we'll continue paying that amount.
And that amount will include the warranties that's with the lease?
It's my understanding.
Okay.
That's correct. So everything will be the same. And that's what we done in the past. If we didn't get the truck on time, they will just extend the lease until we get a new truck.
Okay.
That's been common
Okay.
practice.
You won't have any problems with that?
No,
With
we've
the
done it
money?
before.
Any other discussion? I'd entertain a motion for this item.
I move that we recommend to the city council to execute an agreement with Outage Capital to replace 2 small aerial lift trucks in the lease program for 4 additional years at a monthly lease rate of $4,053.83 per month
Per, if I can say per vehicle.
per unit, excluding license fees and delivery charge.
I guess I'll second.
Okay, motion made by Williams, seconded by Augustine, to approve a recommendation to the city council to execute an agreement with Alltech Capital to replace 2 small aerial lift trucks in the lease program for 4 additional years at a monthly lease rate of $4,053.83 per unit per month, or $48,645.96 per year, excluding license fees and delivery charge. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to
Business.
our second item under new business. Consider approving a recommendation to city council to purchase POSM server from POSM Software LLC.
Yeah, if I remember right, 2017, we purchased a trailer that includes a computer and the equipment to do the inspections of the sanitary sewer. That system came with a software called POSM, POSM, for the what that came with this equipment. Due to the city has used GIS for mapping, also have a management system for maintenance called Lucity. So POSM makes a software that incorporates, in addition to the actual inspection, you can use this software that you can basically use it in your Lucity for work orders, and also have a visual in a map to see where the sewer lines are. So last year, POSM software provided us a demo for the POSM server, and we tried it in 2021 and no cost. This new software allowed the inspection of data to be backed up from the inspection trailer computer to the city network server. What we used to do before is to get the thumb drive, plug it into a computer, and then load the data. But then again, it was just a video, and that was about it. So with the new software, you can put the video, you can access GIS through Lucity, and if you inspect, let's say, sewer main 1, you can go to the Lucity, to the GIS map, access the sewer line 1, and then you can pull the actual video and look at the actual inspection. You can get the notes and the comments that were done during the inspection. With the previous software, that was not possible. So this new software will integrate the video inspection and Lucity and GIS. So we can use all 3 at once. So the benefits of the new software is to create maps related to the CCTV inspection program, which that's what I mentioned. Share inspection data and reports quickly and efficiently to other staff and design professionals. store post-construction CCTV data for new development, share inspection data with Central Square, which is Lucity, for maintenance management program. And also, we can use a standard national coding on the actual inspection that is universal with other inspections throughout the world. So it's a unique codes that we use for inspecting. So Rick will try to demonstrate what the new software is gonna do for us, instead of just me telling you. So you'll get a visual, maybe a better understanding what the new software is capable of doing.
Yeah, I like pictures.
Fine.
Good evening, I'm Rick Gears.
Yeah, we can see it on here.
Well, I can't see it on mine, but
Oh.
I can see it over here. Oh, is it not turned on? What an easy solution.
All right, as Gon said, we own a Possum Professional. It's installed on one computer, and it's inside a trailer that we pull behind one of our line maintenance staff's vehicles. That we go out there, we do inspections of the sanitary sewer mains. We also can do different, last year we helped out the swimming pool. They needed to locate stuff. So we can, if you put it in a pipe, we can put the camera down there. It's motorized, and we can control it remotely from the trailer, and it records the data. What the Possum server gives us access is, instead of being on that one trailer and the only install and the risk of losing data if something happened to the computer, it gets too hot during the summer, too cold during the winter, or God forbid, as they're going through an intersection, some truck hits it and destroys the computer, and we lose all our data that we've collected. I think currently we got about 86,000 linear feet of pipe inspected. With that, like Gon's mentioned, we used to have to go in here and get on the computer on the trailer, and we'd have to go into like the video folder, and then we'd have to search and figure out which pipe we had just done a video, and then go in there and grab one of these videos that we had made, put it on a thumb drive, and hopefully who did it would copy it and not cut. A lot of times they do cut and paste, and we lose that video or that image that we have. So that has happened in the past. So with Possum Server, it's a software that's installed on the city's network server, and it gives us a desktop application with unlimited seats with this purchase. We can have it installed on everybody's computer in the office, and once the crews get back from doing TV inspections, they hook up to the network, upload it using the backup utility tool built into the professional software, and then it's available for us to view. So all these over here that I'm scrolling through, these are each one of those is a sewer main that we had completed, and we can open this up from the office as soon as they get in, get that uploaded. We can go take a look at it, and it has built-in functionality. Well, it tells us all the information they've entered, like pipe material, PVC. They surveyed 292 feet on this particular one. We can look at other reports, and he mentioned that we do use the NASCO standard PACP coding. That's what each one of these will be a code that we've used, and when they do a code, the majority of them will automatically get a picture taken, and it'll create that observation in the database. And we also have different types of reports. Here's kind of a layout of, I wonder if I can spin this. Layout of like kind of a pipe diagram, and it tells you the distance, the code, the PACP standard code, and then roughly where it's at on the pipe. So this is what Possum's server allows us to do from the desktop. With that, we can also, as Gon's mentioned, we have Lucity for our work order management systems and everything we do. We have using their GIS mapping, we created a map of our infrastructure. This is our sanitary sewer infrastructure here mapped. And as I zoom in, I've got this one set up to where I can turn on CCTV completed, and everything that just highlighted are the pipes that we have completed. So this map is built from our ArcGIS that we have installed. So here's our GIS map, my desktop version. The Lucity map that we have for the guys to look at doesn't have everything functionality that I'm going to show you here. We can do the same thing. We can turn on the sewer mains and highlight what's been done. But also, as I had mentioned, each one of these codes, these observation codes is what we call them, each one of those can actually be plotted by creating a table view in the databases, if you're familiar with that. We can, and then we can turn that on, and it'll show you all the areas. So you can actually turn on your maintenance and routes, and actually just turn off your mains, if it'll think for a minute. You can start telling where the areas in town that we have, either a maintenance or a structural problem that we need to focus on, either more maintenance activities or structural rehab. And what's nice about this, those reports that I showed you using this Possum software here, and that we can see the different reports on each of these tabs. In this video, we can actually open this video from Possum server from our desktop and watch a video. So now we can actually have it spatially shown, spatially shown to show each and every observation where the observation was on that pipe from the distance from upstream and downstream manholes. And then we could also identify and select some mains, and then we can open this web path that's actually provides that same list of reports that we can view. And then that can be done on a mobile device, your phone, computer, as long as you have Wi-Fi network and access that secure city network. There's that pipe diagram. Here's the video. You can play the video. So it gives us that functionality and ability to do a lot with it and access data quickly, efficiently, without risk of losing data by doing the cut and paste, but on thumb drive, transferring over to some other drive, and then to share the data. It's stored on our network, and it's backed up like all our network drives, and it's backed up routinely, nightly, weekly. So if we lose some data, we can always, hey, can we get a backup of this network drive, and we don't lose more than the day, just like anything else. So I might have went a really fast and spun around.
Access point manhole at 0 feet, 24 SE85.
That's your video.
So this is a video taken at one point in time.
Yeah, this one is taken March 8th of 2021. And so we can go back as part of our inspection program as we inspect all our system. We can go back and then we'll have history. We'll, if I can pull one up that has more than one.
How often are inspections conducted on each pipeline?
We're trying to get through. We haven't gone through our system completely yet for the first time since we've owned it. We got about 500,000, a little over 500,000, like 520,000 feet, I think, of gravity sewer that's active. And so we've only got about 87,000 feet completed so far. So it'll take a few years. We're trying to get done within 5 to 7 years. And then based on those observations, NASCO provides, you get a maintenance code and a structural code. And so you can determine, and you can create like a condition assessment, and then use that to rate the pipe and rate the junction of pipes or determine focused areas to do rehab and maintenance or replacement as needed. So you kind of develop a maintenance program so we can come to you guys and say, here's our 5-year plan based on our inspection data and what the codes have told us. This pipe is going to fail, or this number of pipe are going to fail within this year, next year, 5 years, 10, 20 years. And we can start developing that, start allocating how much funding we need to rehab each given year.
But then would you start the inspection over again?
Yeah, you just continue, you go through 1 year and then you get done, and then eventually you can create, some pipes don't need to be inspected every year. Some pipes need to be inspected every 6 months due to the crease or the roots, the conditions of what the observations have told us. So some pipes need more maintenance, like your new car don't need as much maintenance as your older car. So, you know, typically older part of the city, we're gonna get in there a lot more times, probably need to TV it a few more times than what we do, and then it determines, and that'll help, the inspection will help determine how often do we need to get in there and root control, cut and jet and clean, so we can provide that.
Can we see the map that shows the completed and not completed again?
Yeah. We are, they're down here somewhere.
In yellow is completed, right? Expected?
I thought it was green and dark green.
The orange, these orange ones that are highlighted, in my, at least orange on my computer, are the ones that have been completed.
Mm.
It's thinking now. Got a slow connection in here. So, okay, so now I turned off all the active gravity mains, so now we're only seeing what's been completed TV inspections.
And how were these determined? I see a little bit over here and a lot over here.
Yeah, part of it, we did part of our I&I program, you're familiar with. We did flow monitoring, and we've kind of selected certain flow meter basins to kind of be priority. So we're trying to focus on, like, this is our area that our east lift station is fed by, and that's one of our higher priority areas. This is another priority area. So we're trying to get in there and focus on getting some of that data first, because it's a known issue somewhere somehow. So we're trying to figure out where. Like, I would zoom in, but it'd probably take a couple minutes. But if you look where I'm cursor here, these are I&I codes. Those are showing the different type of I&I runners and drippers and stuff. So we know how this pipe showed I&I during that inspection. So we know we've got to get in there. And it also has a lot of roots, so that makes sense that, you know, if there's a crack with roots coming in, then you've probably got I&I coming in during the wet weather.
So how does this amount fit in the budget?
I'd probably defer to Gons on that. I know we.
The software itself is not was not in the budget. But since we use the inspection for the I-9 program, we have monies in the I-9 budget that we can pay for this software. Otherwise, we'll have to revise the budget in July to account for these additional costs.
And this is a one-time cost for the $21,500 for the purchase of the software, and then it's just an annual maintenance of $3,500 from here on out.
And we own the trailer with the cameras that's doing
Yeah.
all this, right?
Yes.
So this is the next step up for software. Do we know, like, how long Possum Software LLC's been around?
I can't give you exact dates, but they've been around for a while. They're known throughout the United States. They
Okay.
have City of Lawrence, Kansas. They use this software. They got people down in Florida and Texas. So they're all over the United States. Also, just like any other larger ones, WinCan.
I just was worried if we're purchasing $20,000 worth of software that something happens to the
No.
community, right? Like,
No, Actually, this is probably one of the best customer service I've actually had to deal with. They've been helpful all last year. Like, hey, I've got a question. How's it? Just in there, we actually have able to log in from the desktop. This remote support, we click on it, and it will actually contact someone, and it'll let them know, and they can answer questions, call you back, or we can remote in to where you can share my screen to where they're seeing what we're doing. So it's been nice to
Okay.
Did you ever have to have anyone from Possum come out?
No, actually, only time we had one, we had one of the sales guys. He has family in Kansas City, and he lives in Denver, and he was in town, so he stopped by just to meet us, because everything else has been over the phone and through emails and transfer documents.
So the closest office to Gardner would be Denver?
He seems to be he bounces back and forth, I think, from Columbia, Missouri, and Denver. I think he's got 2 houses or something. So and then he's got family in the area, so he's back here quite often.
Is there another level of software after this that adds some other level of interaction and communication between?
Not for the CCTV software. This is all we need for that. The other aspect would be more on the GIS mapping capabilities. So being able to do more of that.
So you've used it for a year and you're very happy with it?
The line maintenance staff and thinks it's great. Staff in the office, we can access it. I get an email or a phone call and say, hey, we uploaded today. It's and then I run a little 1, 2, 3 process, and it creates those reports doing this. I don't know what I just did. Okay, there we go. You just click this button. You run a search of all your things. Select them. You just do this one. Hit this 1 button. When that's done, hit the 2 button. When that's done, hit the 3 button. They made it very simple, and that's what creates all those reports that we get to see here.
Okay.
And the links to the video and everything. So puts everything together in a nice package. Pretty automated.
Any other questions? I'd entertain a motion for this item.
I'll make a motion to approve business item number 2. Consider the approval of a recommendation to the City Council to purchase Possum server from Possum Software, LLC.
Do I hear a second? Second. I have a motion made by Augustine, seconded by Commissioner Williams, to consider the approval of a recommendation to the City Council to purchase Possum GIS server software from Possum Software LLC, a one-time purchase price of $21,500 and support at an annual cost of $3,500 for a total amount of $25,000 for 2022. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Now, any discussion items?
It's the first quarter of, we're in January, so we usually present the outages and water leaks and breaks for the fourth quarter, but I'll be doing that next month because we have enough time to put together the information.
Okay.
But one update which I told City Council was the Prairie Trace development. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's across I-35 south of 175th Street. The developer is Greta, so they're developing homes, some apartments. Part of the agreement between the city and them was for the city to provide the water connection. So we had to enter into a agreement with Water One to bring the water main from Monticello Drive, which is about 1.5 miles away. So that part of the agreement with Grada is complete, so they have water now for that facility. We completed the immediate phase for the electric. If you can see, we have over probably 15, 20 overhead poles that 3-phase that they are energized. So right now we can supply the power to the new development. There was nothing there a year ago, so that's in place now. Then for sewer, we had the east interceptor in place, the force main that go from Grada all the way to the east lift station. That was done in September. The only thing left is the actual lift station at the Prairie Trace. That was completed. Commissioning will take place next week. So basically, that property is served with sewer, water, and electric.
Good.
That was a big milestone for the city.
Glad to hear that.
So Water One will provide the water, will provide the sewer
And the electric.
and the electric.
In order to provide the electric, I had to reach out to Evergy and petition for the city to service that parcel, and they grant us access to that parcel.
Say that they
They grant us our petition, so we are the
suppliers.
supplier, not Evergy.
In Kansas, if you extend the city property, you don't necessarily extend the utility rights.
Not necessarily, unless you're within the service area boundaries.
So you could have Evergy serving part of the city, and us serving part of the city.
That could be a possibility if they don't grant us the
So they're-
petition.
They're not required to sell us their equipment if we wanted to annex.
The way it works, we need to annex the property first. Then I issue a letter petitioning for the city to service. Then they will see, let's say they have, 30 homes. So then they have to evaluate how many homes we have, what is the infrastructure in place, what will be the loss revenue over the next couple of years. So based on that, they will give you a number, let's say $100,000. So they will say, if you want to service this area, you have to pay us $100,000 for the infrastructure and the revenue loss because we're losing our customers. With this development, it was a green field, so that didn't exist. So they actually gave us the service area at no cost.
And who does this evaluation? Does the state?
Evergy.
Oh, that Evergy does it themselves. So
Then it had to go to the Kansas, the KCC
Commission.
Commission, and they had to approve the transaction. So far, we have requested 3, and we have actually they were granted.
You actually want.
They granted our request. There was one that we had to pay $80,000, which is Tuscan Farms by the Nike schools. So they've been we've been able to work with Evergy for acquiring their service area. There's 2 more properties they're evaluating right now.
Good job.
So that's all I have for this month.
Does anyone have any
we got a couple. In the minutes from last time there, we said that we weren't 100% on the smart meters for water, next grid.
We're 100% on the electric since March of 2021. On the water meters, we are 90, I think it said 99%.
I don't, there was a note that we
There's
thought we
about-
would be done by the end of December, so I guess, are we done, or is there still some?
So, except for about 40 meters left, that some of them have to do with Conestoga. Some have to do
Yeah.
with the school district.
Okay,
That will be done early this year.
okay,
But I say 99% are in.
all right, cool.
So you went from 105 meters down to having to install 40.
It's about 40 left.
Okay.
All right.
What about this rollout of the software? Is that imminent?
Something will be coming out this month for the rollout.
And how will it be rolled out?
We'll not do some kind of promotion or advertising, so customers or residents are aware of it. Then we'll provide in the utility bill how to access the Intel Home software or app.
So there'll be an enclosure in the bills?
Then we'll also have that information on the city web.
Okay.
And you said that's gonna be in the coming month?
It'll be this month.
I would love to see that. That would be great. I mean, we've been waiting for it for a long time, so.
Although I think some of you have access, so. But we'd like to roll it out for the entire city.
Yeah. All right. We were about 75% on the backflow reports from businesses. Did
That's-
that get any better?
We're slowly getting more in,
Okay.
but it's still, not
Still,
all the way complete.
sure. Excuse me. And then last time we talked about that you were at some point here going to bring us a policy update change add to give businesses a penalty for not being in compliance with that.
It's something that I've discussed with Jeff Lemire for the past couple of years. And I think it's time to, do something about it because having 25% delinquent
Right.
doesn't meet the purpose of
So
getting the backflows tested prior to using the irrigation system. So I'll present something within the next month or two.
okay, great. Then the last thing that I just have is, I'm behind on my city council meetings. Have they opened up the other two positions yet? Do you know, Aaron?
Because I thought was doesn't council have to ask definitely official already.
I'm not sure, but I know that they have not interviewed anyone so far.
Yeah, I was thinking they actually have to ask to have the positions posted. I could be wrong about that.
No, I think they have to announce that they're available,
Yeah, I think there's an official thing there, so.
and then
Okay.
people have to apply.
Right, that's the other struggle. Alright, and then, just for me, Gons, next time that you've got a vehicle thing, next time there's a vehicle purchase like the specialty trucks, I would like to have you run that model again if you can, just the lease versus ownership, and, share that data with us, just, for sanity, my sanity.
Okay?
That's all I got.
Do you have anything?
Nope.
I had a question. Is there had been any advance or anything done about the enforcement of the fog?
a letter went out late December. The deadline was January 13th, 12th, sometime this month is the deadline for them to comply.
To comply? Wow.
And, or what?
Then we'll have to enforce the code.
So do you go out after this time and inspect what they've done?
So the ones that have already registered in the program, I think there's only 3 existing restaurants. Then we have the newer, like Freddy's, they already have their system in place. But as of today, I couldn't tell you how many more have registered to the program. So what we need to do is they need to register so we can perform the inspection. So I don't know how many we have since we sent the letter.
So you'll know by January 13th if they register.
I know there's a lot of people calling us about what do they need to do to comply with the request.
Oh, good.
One
Think
was Arby's.
Oh. I think that's a very important thing that we get that accomplished and enforced,
Because that will help with the doing the continuous inspections on
Exactly.
certain sewer lines because they're full of grease.
I noticed also today, I think that there was a power outage on 183rd Street between Moonlight and Center Street, maybe?
Correct. There was about 7 customers affected. We had a failed transformer.
My lights blinked.
Mine blinked, but that was it. Some people actually had an outage. So it took us about 3 hours to identify the problem.
And then you were able to,
I think they replaced the component that was effective, or the transformer. So it took us a while to troubleshoot.
okay, that was it for me. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner Augustine to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Good job.
I'm sorry. I just went
No,
blank.
it's fine.
I know your name, but I just went
You're
blank.
good. No worries.